Welcome to Your Ultimate Life podcast, where we help you break free from mediocrity and create a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy. Get your free video series at yourultimatelife.ca.
What is your Olympic event? Now, I don't think you're going to maybe you are going to the Olympics. I don't know. I'm not going to the Olympics. But the Olympics is going on right now, and it happens every so often. And earlier this year, we had the Euro Cup, and we had the Copa Cup, and we had Wimbledon earlier in the summer, and now we're having the Summer Games. That showcases amazing, staggering, mind-blowing, talented people that dedicate their lives to getting something done, to making it happen, to creating a display of skill, talent, and all those happen to focus on sports. But there's all kinds of places where people are doing amazing things. I'm embarking, here I am, 68, be 69. I'm embarking on a new phase of musical career. I'm starting a YouTube channel that's just about music, my music, that I sing, write, produce, and it's message music. It's about love and creation and kindness and unity. It's a buzzword these days with politics stuff going on. And that's what I'm doing. And it comes right out of my own life experience. I'm not doing it because it's trendy or because it's cute. I'm doing it because my life experience has taught me that love conquers all. My life experience has taught me that forgiveness is critical. My life experience has taught me that carrying around baggage of negativity toward others, it hurts me. It's like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die, carrying a grudge. I've found that to be true all the time, every time, no exceptions. Yeah, well, this is different. No, it's not. That's my experience. So I'm offering a suggestion to you that you dig into your life and see, where are you carrying hatred, negativity, frustration toward another person? It's very specific. If I ask you right now, is there somebody you don't like, and boom, a name flies in your mind and vitriol spews out of your energy, whether you say anything or not, what would it take for you to forgive them? Oh, scary. Now, this episode is not about forgiveness. It's about Olympics and your Olympic event. But we have done several about forgiveness, and we're going to do more, because forgiveness is a key starting point to creating power, to creating this ultimate life jazz we talk about all the time, to creating joy, purpose, prosperity. I can't believe my life right now. I mean, I love it. But think about this. I get up every day super excited. I wake up before my alarm goes off. I used to wake up frustrated. Oh, I've only got this much time left to sleep, or oh, I haven't slept enough. I don't even care. If I need to take a nap in the day, I do. But I wake up loving my life every day, so excited I can't stand it. I look at the people I have to see on my calendar, and I can't wait to talk to them. I can't wait to make these shows for you. I can't wait to encourage you. I can't wait to love you, to tell you how great you are. And you might think I'm crazy because I'm just sort of blathering all this all over you. But that's my Olympic event. My Olympic event is loving you. My Olympic event is helping you realize who you are so you can change the world with your infinite possibility. I lived so much of my life so long, beat down, buried, not living up to anywhere near the potential that I have. And I see that almost universally. I rarely meet someone that, even if I ask them, are you living up to your full potential? Instantly they'll say no. Some will say, well, I'm trying, but no, I'm way short. People rarely think that they are. And that's not an indictment. It's not a wistful striving for perfection. People immediately, for the most part, ask you, are you living up to your full potential? Are you adding good to the world, creating love, service, money, prosperity, purpose? Are you doing that between 9 and 10 all the time? We're not even talking 10 out of 10, 95, 90, 95. If you are, you know it in an instant. Well, that kind of energy and effort, that's the Olympic event. Right? My Olympic event right now, this year, is to help 250 million people. 250 million of you right here, right now, learn to love yourself more. Just reach in and love yourself more. You're great. You're beautiful. You're divine. You're capable. Who has to tell you that before you believe it? I'll tell you who. I can tell you. Your friends can tell you. God Almighty can come down and tell you. But until you tell you, until you make a choice to own that, until you make a choice to internalize and believe that, it won't do jack. It'll wear off in an hour, a minute, at the end of the conference, at the end of the book, at the end of the spiritual experience. It'll wear off. Because the thing that governs our behavior is our thinking, and that's inside of us. Day after day, minute after minute, year after year, and I know I got those all in the wrong order, so what? Constantly. That's why we have things like, as a man or woman thinketh, so is he or she. If we think we can or can't, we're right. All that stuff, all those things that we've all heard come from this truth. You can have whatever you want. You can create whatever you want, and nobody can give it to you. Never, under any circumstances. It has to come out of you. So my Olympic event right now is helping 250 million people this year to discover their own infiniteness and then do something with it. Make a choice to change the direction, elevate the trajectory, add good to the world, make more money, but do it in a happy and joyful and powerful way. No more grind. I'm not saying grind yourself to death. You don't need to. I don't. And I make good money as a coach and an author and a musician and a speaker and all that stuff. I love it every second. So much fun. Now, that's my Olympic event this year. 250 million people to help you see who you really are, divine being, and help you change the world in your way, your space, your time, with your talents, from your infinite possibility. And sadly, most people are not and don't believe they can. All right, so let's ask ourselves. I've just told you what my Olympic event is, and there's lots of sub pieces. I've got books and more, and another book I just started, number 20, music I'm doing. I'm creating a new YouTube channel with music only, talking about the creative process and how songs are written, why I'm doing it, how they tie into the books that I've written, and on and on. But I want you to find out what is yours. If you sit quietly with yourself and ask that question, what is your Olympic event? Now, there's one of three things that happens, and that's kind of a continuum. One end of that is, you might say, I don't got jack. I'm nothing. I'm nobody. I don't have that much. Nobody would listen to me. I'm not prominent. I haven't done anything important. I'm out of shape. I'm sad. I've been abused. I'm overweight. I'm lots of reasons, but it all adds up to I suck. So that's one reaction. It's not true, but it may be the swimming pool, the muddy swimming pool that you're swimming in. I know what that swimming pool feels like to some degree. I'm not going to pretend I know what you're going through, but I have swum in that pool. I have drowned in that pool. I have attempted suicide from being in that pool. Another possibility is the yearning possibility. And this is big area where most people are. Shallow end to the deep end. But the yearning thing is this idea that we have that says, I know I could do something. I know I should be doing something. It's language differently. I hear it like this. Well, I want to help people. I really love helping people. I went through this list, trial, abuse, illness, cancer, bankruptcy, betrayal, divorce, illness, whatever it is. I went through this and I've come through it okay. And I now really want to serve. I want to help with that. I want to take that experience and do something with it. I've even had people say to me when they hear my stories or other stories, and they say, well, I didn't have a real trauma where I was all beat to pieces in some way, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I didn't have that. And so then they feel inhibited. Well, I didn't have that, but I had these other things that have gotten in my way. And you know what? It's the same. Whether or not you had one that people would recoil in horror at, a set of experiences, or one that was just difficult for you, your power is the same. It doesn't depend on the depth of the experience. For the most part, there's some power that comes from really deep experiences. But what it depends more on is your choice to act on what you have. Life is tailored for you and for me to be just as difficult as it can be to develop us. I am absolutely certain, not only from my own life, but from all those I've talked to. And believe me, I've interviewed hundreds on this show, on my LA Talk radio show, for my television program. There's just so many people that I've talked to that have same impression, the same desire. So that's this middle where you have a yearning to do something. You had a set of experiences and you can point to one or more of them and you know that they have served you because you've come through them. You've felt your own growth and had some resilience, right? Because of it, you've made choices not to give up and die, either actually or emotionally or whatever. And you want to help, but you don't know how, or you don't feel like nobody would listen. People say that to me. That book's already been written. Why would I write another one? Who would read it? That kind of language, which is, it's not powerful enough to matter. Then there's the, I don't know how to do anything anyway. And then there's the, I don't have time. And then there's the, it's not my season. And then there's the, I don't know, people might be offended if I wrote it. There's sort of that whole ball where you feel the yearning and you don't do anything about it, or you dabble and you quit. Weekend warriors, if you go to sports, weekend warriors who used to play high school, who did this and that, and of course they're never going to go to the Olympics, not because they couldn't, they don't want to. They're afraid. They don't want to bad enough to, go through the rigors of even trying, right? Okay. And I know something about that. My oldest son went to the Olympic tryouts. He didn't make the Olympic team, but he was really good, and he wrestled the guy that did in heavyweight wrestling in 2004, just some years ago. But anyway, so I know something about what that takes in that physical sport. All right. Then there's this third group, which is really small. The second group is really big. The first group that are just drowning in the muddy pool, that's fortunately, it's way too big. But the middle group's way bigger, and the top group, I don't say top, the right-hand group on maybe it's left for you, but anyway, this group over here, it's a small group, and those are the ones that have said, I'm going for it. This is my Olympic event, and I'm bleeding. I'm crawling over broken glass. I'm making this happen. Because my feeling for helping, my love, my service, my desire to do good, my observation of the benefits, my resilience, benefits that I've gotten from going through this stuff, I know it, I'm doing it, and I'm making that happen. So where are you on that line? Most people I talk to are in the middle. They have had something go on in their lives and they feel that yearning. So here's some questions, because the issue, if you're down in the drowning end, or you're literally destroyed by that, you need real help. I did, 2 suicide attempts, massive addictions. I needed real help. Real, like professional help, counseling, rehab programs. I did those things. I needed that. And so the biggest mistake I made before I did that was not getting any help. But if you're there, get the help you need right here, right now, because you're worth it. Like, hear this message and then go do something about it. Hear this message and make a phone call. Talk to a counselor, talk to a priest, talk to a friend. If you've talked to people before and they don't take you seriously, don't talk to them again. Don't waste time with things that haven't worked. Go do something new. Value yourself enough to take that step. All right. So go get some real help professionally right this minute. If you're in that lower group, swimming in the mud. If you're in the middle group, which is a wide range from, just out of the mud to, really starting to do something all the way in there, right this minute what your Olympic event could be. That. You might be full of doubts about whether or not it matters. You might be full of doubts about whether or not anybody would care, or whether or not your book or course or help should be offered. You might be full of all those doubts, but you know what it's about. You know what it's about. I have so many clients who at some time in their coaching journey with me ask those questions. Who will read my book? Hasn't this already been done? Isn't there already a course? And the answer is always going to be, yep, it's been written. There's a course and it's already been done. And we need yours anyway, because there are people that hear your voice and yours alone. I want you to think about how many new events get added to the Olympics. Right? They get added all the time. Do you know what I heard? I heard that this very Summer Olympics, it's going on right now, the new event, at least I could be mistaken, but I think the new event that was added was break dancing. Hysterical. I love it. I see those people on, America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent or somebody, those shows, and I don't watch them a lot, but they're on. My wife loves background noise, so the television's on a lot. So as I walk through rooms, I'll see a little piece of this or that, and the antics of Simon Cowell or whoever the other judges are, right? And sometimes I'm sent videos by clients or prospects about someone who appeared on that show because their performance was so astounding. And so then I'll watch the whole, performance as just evidence of how awesome people are, how awesome you are. So if you know what your event is, you know what it is. My question to you is, are you doing something with it? And you can be in that middle group and say, I don't have time. I'm too busy. You can be in the middle group and say, I don't know what to do. I don't think anybody would care. But those are all solvable problems. I don't have time is solvable. I don't know how is solvable. I don't think anybody would read it is solvable. I know that because I've helped so many. And you can get whatever help you want, but I'm telling you, I can help you. I can help you create time, figure out what your most powerful gift is, and figure out how to create and package it, market it, and sell it, add good to the world, make a difference. That's all I do. Helping 250 million people realize that they have these gifts and that they will be well served, both intellectually, spiritually, and financially, by taking the actions to create them. So here's a question. Do you breathe every day? Well, of course you do. You'd be dead. Do you have to think about it? You have to force yourself to breathe. Oh, I almost forgot. Oh yeah, I got to breathe here. Well, that's ridiculous. Of course you breathe. Because as soon as you don't, alarm bells go off, right? Okay. Why isn't your Olympic event like that? It hasn't become important enough. Your breathing has become important enough that your brain and body have relegated it to the subconscious, so you don't have to think. Automatic, automatic, automatic. Well, do you know that your yearning to do good is that deep? Do you know that your ability to create a difference in the world and to serve people is that deep? The only reason we don't is because we beat that desire down with fear, with excuses, with saying, I'll do it later. We beat the crap out of it. Well, who knows how many Olympic athletes have never made it past their local school championships or high school or state or region or province or whatever, because they let themselves, their yearning, their talent get beat down. I want to see your talent. I want to see your gift. I want to hear your story. I want to help you save the world with it. Some piece, some group of people is panting, waiting to hear your insights, your wisdom, and your experience. I know that because I see it over and over and over again with every single person I meet. So right now, if I ask you, do you know your event? I know the answer is yes. You may have piles of doubts around it. So what do we do with that? Well, there's lots of ways to start. Number one, commit. I'm going to do something with this. I've put it off long enough. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I'm going to do something. That firm decision is first. Well, maybe I'll think about it. That's like Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. Decide you're going to do it. Now, there's lots of pieces to that. You need to decide how fast. Are you going to have a product or service or something developed? Your Olympic podium by the end of the week, by the end of the month, by the end of the year? Like, what are you willing to do? Now, the Olympics, they're fixed. They are when they are. They're this year in 2024, and then they'll be the winter in 26, and, so forth. Here's where I found help to be so useful. When I got coached, in my beginning, when I was getting out of the lower end, I needed all kinds of therapists and counselors and rehab and stuff. When I got out of that into this middle, I realized that my story, my journey through rehab and self-development and all that stuff could really help somebody, some large bunch of somebodies. So guess what? I started doing something with it. I didn't know how either, but I got help. I got coaches. I talked to people. I took programs. And most of all, I slammed my fist down metaphorically and sometimes literally that I was going. I'm going to that next Olympics. I'm going to have something done by the end of the year. Why? Because I said so. I'm going to create the effort and energy. I'm going to, escort all the naysayers out of the building. Right? Okay. So get some help. I'm available. If you want my help. If you don't want my help, I don't care. But get the help you need to figure out how to describe exactly what your Olympic event is. I call it your MEO, most effective offering. I have a process called the triple helix. 1, 2, 3 to help you figure out what it is. The thing you can do to make the most money, have the most fun, and make the biggest impact. But do it. Do the thinking. Get to work on finding your triple helix, your MEO, most effective offering, your Olympic event that you would love to do, the thing that just lights you up, where you know you matter. And then treat it like breathing. Think about it every single day. Make notes about it. As you're working with a coach or a writing coach or someone who helps, programs get made or whatever, make some notes. Get underway. I have a book that might help you. This is called The Story Arc. This is a book I wrote to help that process, help you figure out how to write about it or create a program or a keynote speech or a seminar or whatever with your Olympic event. Okay? The key is to breathe it every day, like breathing. Make it so that when you first wake up in the morning, that's what you're thinking about. Not because you have to, not because I said so, but because you said so. Because you have created the kind of excitement and joy around your opportunity to make a big impact, make good money, and have a lot of fun. Purpose, prosperity, and joy. It's available to you right here, right now. And the easiest way to get there is to find your Olympic event and get to work. Okay, now, when athletes compete, and this is not only with athletics, it's also with performers and musicians and other people. In fact, business people use this and so forth. They do something called visualization. The skier visualizes the run start to finish. They do it physically and then they visualize it over and over again. Bobsledders, top to bottom, track runners, every sport. Free throwers, hockey players, they visualize it and practice it. Visualize it and practice it. So I'm going to pretend for a minute you want to become a speaker and talk about something because you love the feeling of helping people and telling the stories that do. Well, then you go to Toastmasters, get a speaking coach, get the kind of help that would move you in that direction. Right? You want to learn piano? Get a piano teacher. I mean, that's the key, right? Pretty obvious, but people don't. They make up reasons. I don't have time. I can't afford it, blah, blah, blah. Nonsense. You're going to let the purpose of your life pass you by because you don't have time to be who you were really meant to be. Oh, please don't do that to me and the rest of us. I want to see you in your glory and power. So visualization is a tool that does several things. One, it improves your skill because as you focus on the specific critical actions, if they're physical actions or speaking or outlines as you think about course delivery or creation, if you focus on going through them in your mind, they become automatic. Just like breathing, they become something you know. I have a statement called a PTAC, Personal Truth and Commitment Document. It's my constitution with God. I have it memorized. I know it. I say it. I wake up with it on my lips. Not because I have to, not because anyone else in the world knows that I do except you, because it makes me focused on my Olympic event. I am focused. I am clear. And what is it? 250 million people to help you realize how great you are so you can change the world with your gifts. That's my Olympic event, and I think about it and I visualize it. I visualize making the shows and LA Talk Radio and the coaching calls that I do. And that visualization helps in many ways. One, you memorize things. Muscle memory is improved, even though you're just visualizing. Your ability to remember, like maybe you're afraid of speaking, I don't know, but your ability to remember is improved. Your ability to perform is improved. I've been working with a vocal coach for many years because I sing and I have sung for my whole life. And I've been in a very famous choir, but I'm now working on solo work. And that's what this YouTube channel is about. It's about composing and about writing lyrics and about singing the songs, but it's about the music. So I practice, and I practice with that visualizing. So do you see your event? Do you see it? Do you see yourself doing it, completing it, loving it, leaning in? Do you see hordes of people being affected and yearning to hear more, to be where you are, to be in the presence of your energy? Well, if you start working on that, it might start with one person in your mind or in real life. I know so many people. Personally, I know them who told me, yeah, I wanted to speak. And the first talk I gave, there was one person there. I know another one that told me there was nobody there, and they gave the talk anyway to an empty room. That is the dedication that's required. If you want to get to the Olympics, ask any Olympian. 3 a.m. practices and so forth. But you know what? You're worth it. You're worth it. You matter. You have so much to offer. So do you see? Do you breathe your event? Or do you spend time naysaying and pushing it away and thinking of reasons it doesn't work? Somebody asked me the other day, a couple of days ago, I was speaking at a seminar, and there was a Q&A afterwards, and somebody asked me, what do you do, Kellan, when the negative thoughts, come up and get in the way, the discouraging stuff? What do you do when that happens? Well, I have a particular visual that I use, and I shared it. And it wasn't the host of the event that asked the question. It was one of the attendees, and it was on Zoom. It was a virtual event. But anyway, as I answered the question, I saw the host just cracked up, started laughing because of the visual, right? So here it is. I treat it like a concert, and like there's a heckler in the audience who's standing up and heckling me for my speech or my song or whatever, and they're heckling me. And so here's what I do. And this is what I told them. I tell them thank you, and then I call security and have them escorted out of the building. And, the visual of security coming down the aisle and escorting, whoever out of the building, out of the performance, so as not to disturb it for everybody else and so forth, was hysterical. And, the host started cracking up, and it was a funny visual. But for me, it accomplishes 3 things. One, there's going to be people, there's going to be haters. Haters going to hate, that, so what, who cares? So, and then I've taught myself to laugh and say thank you. Because I'm not ever going to have everybody like me, and I don't even care. I'm allowing them fully and with complete openness and love to hate whatever they want to hate, to pick apart my performance, to poke fun at my principles or my lyrics or my music and tell me I'm full of crap. Go ahead. You're free to do that. And I love you for expressing your opinion, and you can't do that here. Not because I'm offended, not because, you're hurting my feelings, but this place is reserved for those who enjoy, want, look forward to, and are leaning into the message. So I thank them. And I pointed in my mind, I thank them. In my mind, I tell them thank you. And then I call security and have them escorted from the building, and they can continue their diatribe in the street in front of the concert hall. Well, that's just one way to do that, but it's very visual. It allows me not to get upset. It allows me not to try to control anybody or get anyone to think anything different, and it gets rid of the problem. And it's done in a funny way, so then it's light. So that's just one idea. The point of today's show is to tell you, you have an Olympic event. You probably know exactly what it is. The question for you in terms of creating the life of purpose, prosperity, and joy, where you're flying out of bed and loving every single day, is, are you willing to pursue the road to excellence for your Olympic event? The thing you do better than anyone else, that thing, set of things, ideas, experiences, hardships, resilience that makes you unique and useful and powerful and good. Are you willing to do it, or are you going to live in the middle with the excuses? I don't have time. Nobody would read it. I don't know how. I can't anyway. Who cares? And, there's 1,000 of them, and I'm not even going to try to say them all. Are you going to live there, or are you going to move forward and add good to the world with your power, your infinite power. Here's what I know. I know nothing can stop you. I know also no one's going to do it for you. I know I'm available to help you. I know you can have what you want. I know it. I've seen it over and over again, and you're no exception. I invite you, go to the URL, www.yourultimatelife.ca. Get the free stuff there. Reach out. Get a hold of me. Let's get you on the road to creating anything you want with power you don't even know you have yet. You know why? Because you're worth it. And you deserve from this moment on to live your ultimate life.
Open your heart and this time around, stand.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. We hope that you take it deeply into your heart and decide for yourself how you can create anything you desire. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to this podcast and share it with your friends. As always, we'd love to hear your feedback and topic suggestions. Until tomorrow, this is Your Ultimate Life with host Kellan Fluckiger.
Stand with your heart in the sky and your